welcome back to my class. This is Mehjabin, High School lecturer at Ahlaveth High School and Junior College. Today we will see our second chapter in accountancy, that is accounting from incomplete records or single entry system. Generally, every business organization prepares financial statements at the end of every financial year. But almost every organization will follow double entry system, that is two sides will be given. One side will be credit side and another side will be debit side. But the organization which do not follow double entry system, they will ascertain their profit and financial position through single entry system. Therefore, single entry system is incomplete, inaccurate, unscientific and unsystematic system of bookkeeping, because here double records are not maintained. It maintains only personal account and cash account. All real account transaction and nominal account transaction are being ignored here. Therefore, small business units which are not familiar with the double entry bookkeeping system will follow this method, and this method is also known as accounting from incomplete records or single entry system. You can call it anyway. Let's see the definition given by Hrishikesh Chakraborty. That is, single entry system is a mixture of double entry, single entry and no entry. So this definition reveals that the single entry system will totally ignore the rules of double entry system, and it has no fixed rules for maintaining the records under single entry system, and each businessman follows a method which is more convenient to him. Means every businessman will follow the system which is more convenient to him. There are no rules, there is no particular format of single entry system. Now let's see what are the types of single entry system. So generally, single entry system can be classified into three types, that is pure single entry system, simple single entry system and quasi single entry system. Now let's see what do you mean by pure single entry system. Under this method, personal records of debtors and creditors are maintained. And what do you mean by simple single entry system? Here personal account and cash book are maintained. And under quasi single entry system method, personal accounts, cash books and some subsidiary books are maintained. So these three are the types of single entry system. Let's see what are the features and characteristics of single entry system. So as I told you earlier, that single entry system is inaccurate, unscientific and unsystematic method of recording business transaction. Hence, it is referred as accounts from incomplete records. So this system generally maintains personal accounts of debtors and creditors, and it does not consider real account and nominal account. So I told you earlier that real account and nominal account are totally ignored here. Here cash book is maintained to record cash transaction, but it is mix up of business and personal transactions of the owner. So here cash book is maintained, but it is mixture of business and personal accounts of the owner. This system lacks uniformity in recording business transactions and it differs from firm to firm. As I told you earlier that every businessman according to his convenience will use the different method of single entry system. So it is differed in firm to firm, and this system is generally followed by small business organizations like sole trade concerns, partnership firm, etc. So these are the features of single entry system. Now let's see what are the merits and demerits of single entry system. So here are the merits and demerits of single entry system. So single entry system is a simple method of recording business transactions. So this method is very simple, and here profit and loss can be easily ascertained. We can find out the profits and loss very easily. For keeping records, one doesn't require to be expert and professional. So here anyone can follow this single entry system, and one need not to be expert or professional to record these transactions here. It is less expensive compared to double entry system. Here expenses are very less and easy to follow and understand. Anyone can follow and anyone can understand it very easily. No principles are required, means there are no rules or regulations for this system. Now let's focus on the demerits of single entry system. So it is an incomplete record and it does not follow two aspects. The two aspects here are debit side and credit side, and it is not possible to prepare trial balance at the beginning of the year. So it is not possible to prepare trial balance at the beginning of the year in single entry system. And correct profit and loss during the accounting period is not known. Means during the accounting period, if the owner wants to know what is the profit and what is the loss of the firm, he cannot have the information of that, because here the correct information of profit and loss during the year will not be given, and it is difficult to prepare trial balance at the end of the year. Means it is very difficult procedure to prepare the trial balance at the end of the year, and possibility of misappropriation and fraud, etc. So here there is a huge possibility of misappropriation and fraud. Here records are maintained but they are not recognized by the government and tax authorities. Means the records here are not recognized by government and tax authorities. So these are the merits and demerits of simple entry system. So these are the merits and demerits of single entry system. So even though the accounts are not maintained properly and completely under single entry system, the businessman would like to know about the financial position or financial status of his organization. Even though accounts are not maintained properly and completely under single entry system, the businessman would like to know the financial result of his business activities, and it is possible by two methods, that is statement of affairs, or that is statement of affairs and capital comparison method, and another method is conversion method. So here we are going to discuss about statement of affairs method, because another method, that is conversion method, is not included in your subject, because another method, that is conversion method, is not included in your chapter. So we will proceed with statement of affairs method. Let's see what do you mean by statement of affairs. So statement of affairs is also known as network method or capital comparison method. So here in order to find out the profit and loss according to this method, we need to follow certain steps. So these are the 5 steps by which you can prepare the statement of affairs to know profit and loss. So the first step is to ascertain capital. So the first step is to ascertain opening capital. So in order to find out opening capital, you need to prepare statement of affairs, but it is nothing but balance sheet. The difference between asset side and liability side is equal to opening capital. So the opening capital here is capital at the beginning. Our next step is step 2, that is ascertain closing capital. So that is the capital at the end. So that is the capital at the end of the year. So you need to prepare the closing statement of affairs, that is balance sheet, to find out closing capital. Our step 3 is add the amount of drawings to closing capital. So here you need to add any amount which is withdrawn by proprietor, and drawing means any amount taken from the business for personal use. Our step 4 is deduct the amount of additional capital introduced from above and get adjusted capital. Here any additional capital which is introduced during the year, that will be subtracted from the above figure to get adjusted capital. And our last step, that is to ascertain profit and loss by deducting opening capital from the adjusted closing capital. So we have already found opening capital and closing capital, no, and we have started with closing capital, and finally we need to subtract opening capital from the adjusted closing capital. So these are the 5 steps to ascertain profit and loss, and after preparing opening balance statement of affairs and closing balance statement of affairs, you need to prepare a statement of profit and loss account. Let's see the format of statement of affairs. It is just like balance sheet, as I told you earlier. So it does have 2 sides, that is liability and asset. So under liability side, sundry creditors, bills payable, outstanding expenses and bank overdraft will come. And under asset side, cash in hand, cash at bank, sundry debtors, bills receivable, stock in trade, prepaid expenses and fixed assets will come. So the procedure is to record all the assets at the beginning and record all the liabilities in the beginning. Then the balancing figure is called here the opening balance or opening capital, and the balancing figure here is called as opening capital. And in order to find out the closing capital, the same procedure is followed. Just record all the assets values at the end of the year and liabilities values at the end of the year, and then the balancing figure will come, that will be your capital at the ending or closing capital. And moreover, if there are any adjustments, provisions or depreciation is given in the problem, then all the depreciation, and moreover, if there are any adjustments, provisions, depreciation is given in the problem, then all the adjustments will be incorporated only when you prepare the statement of affairs at the end of the year. So, at the end of the year only you need to add those adjustments. So, this is the format or pro forma of preparing statement of affairs at the opening of the year or at the closing of the year. So, after ascertaining statement of affairs at beginning of the year and statement of affairs at the ending of the year, our last step is to find out the statement of profit and loss account. So, this is the format to prepare statement of profit and loss account. Here I have already given you the 5 steps, you just have to recollect them. So, our first step is closing capital and its amount. Then to the closing capital we have to add drawings. Drawings is the amount which is used by the proprietor for his personal use. So, we have to add these drawings to the closing capital. Then after ascertaining that amount we have to deduct additional capital which was introduced during the year. So, we have to deduct this amount from the above amount. Then the result will be our adjusted closing capital, and from that we have to deduct opening capital. That is our last step of ascertaining profit and loss account. After these calculations, the amount which we get will be our profit or loss for the year. So, this is the format. You must remember this format. So, basically there are 3 steps. First step is statement of affairs at the beginning of the year, then statement of affairs at the closing of the year or ending of the year, then our final step is statement of profit and loss for the year. So, let's continue with our problems. Let's see our first problem, that is, from the following information prepare a statement of affairs and find out the capital at the beginning. So, here we just need to find out the capital at the beginning of the year. So, here we can see that assets and liabilities have been differentiated. He has given assets and liabilities at different sides. So, we need not to distribute them. Let's see what are assets. That is cash in hand 8,000, stock 5,000, furniture 32,000, cash at bank 10,000, sundry debtors 20,000 and machinery 85,000. And liabilities, they are bank overdraft 12,500, sundry creditors 22,000 and bills payable, they are 10,000. Now, let's prepare the statement of affairs at the beginning of the year. Here, I don't have much space. That's why I have erased the board and then I did my solution part. Now, let's see. As I told you earlier that our statement of affairs at the beginning of the year or at the closing of the year both are same as our balance sheet. So, here we have differentiated the amounts of assets and liabilities. First liability will come, that is bank overdraft, the amount which was given in the question. I have written the same amount here, that is bank overdraft 12,500, sundry creditors 22,000, bills payable 10,000. And then at asset side, cash in hand 8,000, cash at bank 10,000, stock 5,000, sundry debtors 20,000, furniture 32,000 and machinery 85,000. Now, what you have to do is, first you have to add all the assets and then add all the liabilities. So, when you will add all the assets, you will get the total amount, that is 1,60,000. Same like this. So, that amount I will write in the working note as well. Now, same like that we have to add all liabilities side. Then when you will add these all liabilities, you will get amount like 44,500. So, here in the working notes you have to deduct liabilities from assets. That means 1,60,000 minus 44,500. So, when you will deduct both of them, you will get amount like 1,15,000 then 500. That will be your balancing capital. So, here you will write the same amount, that is 1,60,000. Total should be same for both the sides, and then the balancing figure which you are balancing, you should write that figure here. That is capital and that is balancing figure. So, our balancing figure is 1,15,500. This was the statement of affairs at the beginning of the year. Same like this we will do another problem, that is statement of affairs at the ending of the year. So, let's see our another problem, that is Satvika keeps her books under single entry system. Her financial position at the end of the year is as follows. So there is a girl whose name is Satvika and she keeps her books under single entry system. Now she has already prepared. Now let's prepare her statement of affairs at the ending of the year. So here assets and liabilities have given, but he did not differentiate both assets and liabilities. Now we have to differentiate both assets and liabilities. Let's see, cash at bank, that will be our asset, that is 60,000. Bills payable, this one is also our asset, its amount is 2,000. Sundry debtors, its amount is 4,000. Sundry debtors also comes under asset side. And furniture, that is 15,000. So furniture will also come under asset side. And let's see this side, bills receivable, that is 3,000. Bills receivable is a liability, so we have to write that in under liability side. And stock in trade, this one is our asset, so we have to write this at asset side, that is 12,000. And then sundry creditors, this again comes under liability, so we have to write this under liability side, that is 3,000. So what we have to do is ascertain the capital at the end of the year. So this is the format which I have already written, that is liability side and asset side. So under liability sides we only have two entries, that is bills payable and sundry creditors. So the amount of bills payable is 2,000 according to the question, and amount of sundry creditors is 3,000. So again when comes to asset side, cash at bank we are having 60,000, bills receivable 3,000, sundry debtors 4,000, furniture 15,000 and stock in trade, that is 12,000. So when you will add this all, our total will be 40,000 and the same amount will be written here as it is. Now we have to find out the balancing figure in working notes. What is the formula of finding balancing figure? That is total number of assets minus total number of liabilities. Total number of liabilities is very easy, that is 3,000 plus 2,000, that is 5,000. So our total assets will be 40,000 and liabilities will be 5,000. And when you will deduct 5,000 from 40,000, the balancing figure which we will get, that is 35,000. So here the capital at the end of the year, that will be our balancing figure will be 35,000. So this was our another problem related to statement of affairs at the ending of the year. Now let's proceed with statement of profit and loss account. That will be our third step. Let's see our problem. Satya Traders, who keeps their books under single entry system, furnished the following information. So this is the information by Satya Traders, that is the capital at the beginning of the year will be 10,000. Additional capital which has been introduced during the year will be 3,000. Drawings made by the proprietor during the period is 2,000. Now what we have to do is their financial position at the end of the year is as follows. So the total assets amounted is 12,000 and total liabilities amounted is 2,000. Now we have to find out the profit or loss for the period. To prepare profit and loss account, we have to write the format of profit and loss account first. Here I have prepared the format of statement showing profit or loss account. So let's see these 5 steps, that is capital at the end of the year. But here we can clearly say that capital at the ending of the year is not given in the problem, but instead of that he gave us the total assets amounted, that is 12,000, and liabilities amounted, that is 2,000. So by taking these values of assets and liabilities we have to find out the capital at the end of year. So what is our formula? Our formula is total assets minus liabilities. Total number of assets is 12,000 minus total liabilities amounted is 2,000. That will comes to 10,000. So this 10,000 will be our capital at the end of the year. Now what we have to do according to the format, we have to add drawings which has been withdrawn by the proprietor during the year. So the amount which is given as drawing withdrawn during the year, that is 2,000, and when you add both of them the amount will be 12,000. From this amount we have to deduct the additional capital which has been introduced during the year. So the additional capital amount given is 3,000. So when you will deduct 3,000 from 12,000, it will comes to 9,000. This will be our adjusted capital. Now again from that adjusted capital we have to deduct the capital at the beginning of the year, which is given in the problem, that is capital at the beginning of the year as 10,000. So from the adjusted capital we are deducting capital at the beginning of the year, that is 10,000. So it is very clear that the Satya Traders company has faced the loss during the year, as we cannot deduct 10,000 from 9,000. So here the loss faced by the company will be minus 1,000. So this 1,000 is the loss which has been faced by the Satya Traders company. Here is our another problem. Let's see the problem. Mahesh keeps his book on single entry system. From the following information, compute the profit or loss. So here, under this problem, Mahesh is the person who keeps his books under single entry system, and this is the financial position of his company. Here under this problem we can see that he has given the amounts of assets and liabilities at the beginning of the year or at the ending of the year. So stock at the beginning of the year is 30,000 and at the ending of the year is 35,000. Why we are saying that at the beginning of the year or at the ending of the year? How we are saying this is because he has mentioned the date, that is 1st April 2014, that will be our beginning of the year, and 31st March 2015, that is our ending of the year. So stock at the beginning 30,000 and at the ending 35,000. Sundry debtors 20,000 at the beginning and 50,000 at the ending of the year, and furniture at the beginning of the year 25,000 and at the ending of the year 45,000. And cash, that may be cash at bank or cash at hand. He just has mentioned the cash. So this cash is 5,000 at the beginning of the year and 10,000 at the ending of the year. And then sundry creditors, that is 10,000 at the beginning of the year and 15,000 at the ending of the year. Now what he has given is another information, that is during the year he withdrew 5,000 for his personal use. So this is the adjustment which we will do in. So this is our problem. Now what we have to prepare is, we have to prepare the statement of affairs at the beginning of the year by taking the amounts which are at the beginning of the year, and then our another step is we have to prepare the statement of affairs at the ending of the year by taking the amounts of the ending of the year, and then after that our third step will be statement of profit and loss account. Now let's begin with our problem. Since I don't have much space, I am erasing this and I will prepare the statement of affairs at the beginning of the year. So here I have written the amounts under solution part, that is liability side and asset side. Under liability side we have only one entry, that is sundry creditors 10,000, and under asset side we have stock, sundry debtors, furniture and cash. So when you will add all the asset side, it will comes to 80,000. Now we have to write the balancing figure. This 80,000 will be written here as well. So 80,000 on both the sides. Now let's see our balancing capital, that is how do we define our balancing capital? We can find it by adding all the asset side and by adding all the liability side, and then we have to deduct liability side from the asset side. So from this 80,000 we have to deduct this 10,000. That comes to 70,000. This will be our balancing figure. So this is the statement of affairs at the beginning of the year, that is 1st April 2014. Again we have prepared the statement of affairs at the ending of the year, that is 31st March 2015. Here we can see that entries are same, only the difference is amount. So under liability side we are having sundry creditors, that is 15,000, and under asset side we are having stock, sundry debtors, furniture and cash. Now when you add them up, it will come around 1,40,000. That same amount will be written here as well, that is 1,40,000. Now again from this 1,40,000 we have to deduct liabilities, that is 15,000. So 1,40,000 minus 15,000 will be 1,25,000. So our capital balancing figure will be 1,25,000. These are the two steps of doing this problem. So at this point we have completed our step 2. Now let's proceed to step 3, that is preparation of statement of profit or loss account. That will be our final step. From these both we will take the capital at the beginning of the year and the capital at the ending of the year, that is 70,000 and 1,25,000. So this is the statement of profit or loss account for the year ended, that is 31st March 2015. Here we are having 5 steps as usual. So the capital at the beginning will be our first step, that is the amount which we found out by statement of affairs at the beginning of the year, that is 1,25,000, and in that amount we are adding drawings which has been withdrawn by the proprietor and which is given in the question, that is drawings 5,000. Here under this problem we observe that we don't have additional capital which has been introduced during the year. So here we need not to write additional capital introduced. So we will skip that part, and then when we will add capital at the beginning and drawing, we will get the amount as adjusted capital, that is 1,30,000, and from that adjusted capital we have to deduct capital on 1st April 2014, that is 70,000. So from 1,30,000 when we are deducting 70,000, it will comes to 60,000. So this will be our profit. Here we can say that Mahesh company has got the profit during the year, that is 60,000. So this was all about our chapter, that is accounting from incomplete records or single entry system. We will continue our next chapter in next class. Thank you.